Hey guys, ladies, everyone else. Right, so I'm making this Blade Runner spinner, and I thought I'd do a little demonstration of how to use Mission Models paints, because on my Instagram page I get mixed reviews about Mission Models paints, and it's literally I use them all the time, and many people say that they have problems with them, so I thought maybe I'd do a little demonstration, see if it can help them out, you know, because I've got my own method of how I mix them and use them, and it seems to work. So I figured I'd also show you this, and I've been trying to work out which blue I want to use. It's always a contentious point with the spinner. Bright blue seems to be the color. I've got some photographs of the original spinner that was used in the movie, and so I picked up some Aqueous Mr. Hobby Cobalt Blue Primary and Bright Blue. Both are gloss. They're nice, but they're gloss. I don't really want to use gloss, so change my mind on those. And so I picked up the Mission Models Bright Blue and the Mission Models Blue. I figured it could do a very subtle modulation of the two. Go blue in the shadows, go bright blue for the overall finished coat, top coat. So mixing wise, so what I'm going to start off with is I've given it a coat of Mr. Surfacer 1500 black, because I want some shadow coat for the underneath. So I want shadows and some of the details to come through the paint. So what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to highlight a few pieces here just to help also add some more depth to the detail. So I'm going to do well, they call it black basing technique, but it's just basically picking out some of these raised areas with white paint, and this is the Mission Models white. So, excuse me, it's a little dry in here today. So, to start off with, give your paint a good shake, mix it up. Every single colour I've noticed has a slight different consistency. I know they shouldn't, but they do. It's probably to do with the pigment. I think, I'm not a great expert on it, but I think the white pigment is quite pure, so it's normally a little bit thinner than, say, like blue. You'll notice it when you try different colours. So what I normally do is, if I'm looking at how much I'm going to use, the rule of thumb normally for me is will be like 20 drops of paint with the little droppers. So it'll be 20 drops of paint and to about 5 to 6, depending on the consistency, like I said, of the colour, around maybe 7 drops at the most of the Mission Models thinner. Don't use any other thinner, you use this thinner, okay? It's a system, so these are specially formulated to work with Mission Models paint, so you have to use this. And then I'll place maybe 6 or 7 drops of their polyurethane mix additive, which helps the paint last longer wearing. It takes a little longer to dry, but not that much. Put about maybe 6 or 7 drops of that in. You don't have to use that at all. You can just use the thinners and the paint. But I kind of like to put a few drops of that in. It just helps in longevity for the paint finish. So, well, as I'm not going to use too much of the white, I'm probably going to do like a smaller amount. So to do a smaller amount, you've got to remember your percentages as far as drops go to thinning to the amount of paint you use. So say if you're going to use 15 drops, then you want to cut down. You don't want to over thin it. So I'd normally use 15 drops. I'd use maybe 4 to 5 drops of thinner instead of 6 or 7. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 drops. Okay, and then maybe 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. Now you look at the consistency. It's still fairly dense, but you can swirl it around like milk, like thick milk. Now I'll pop maybe 3 drops of that in, because we're only using this for the highlight coat, so it's not a necessity, but we'll use it anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 for luck. Take your whatever stick you use for mixing and mix it up nice. Get in there, mix it, give it a good swirl around, swirl it as well. You'll see it sticking to the side of the cup. If it's sticking to the side of the cup nicely like that, then you can see the actual consistency and the transparency of the paint. So you'll get a rough idea when you mix it next time if if you're consistently mixing it the way you like it. And also that's how it's going to end up when it goes on the model. It will show that it will make it. If it's too thin, then you've thinned it too much. Obviously, if you can see straight through it like water. So that's pretty good. Now I've got my pressure set around 25 psi. I know everybody uses different pressures. I'm used to using one pressure. I very rarely deviate from 25. I've got a closer here that I can just close the air down if I want to basically, if I'm doing more precise airbrushing, like that, it just closes it up. So that means I don't have to touch the pressure. So in this case, we want to have it around halfway open. So put a little drop in there. You don't have to go mad. About that much is enough. Way more than enough. Right. So now give it a little tester. You can see it coming out quite nice. And then make sure when you hit before you open your airbrush out, just get it close to the model and then just gently ease the air in. So where you want to put it. Put a little blood there. Like that. That's nice. You obviously want to go white right in the middle. So the whitest part has to be in the middle. Right, and then we'll do that one there. Like that. And as you put it on, pull the airbrush away and then you'll get sprayed around the edges here. I've gone a little heavy there, but that's alright. And then you can pick another part, maybe between there like that. Get close. Just pick that out, like a white line. And maybe we'll do these pieces here. So just a little blob there. A little blob there. A little blob there. The closer you go, the more precise it'll be. The further away, the more your airbrush will spread out. We're going close, just gentle on the air, like that, like that. Do another one there, another one there. Don't go too heavy, and we'll do those ones there. You can see it drying almost instantly. It dries super quick, Mission Paint. That's another reason I like it. Maybe another one there. Like that. So when we come to do our top coat, when we spray it over it, you'll get natural highlights. Natural looking highlights. So we'll do a little bit there. We'll do a little bit on that one. A little bit on that one. A little bit on that one. You don't have to be too precise, but it does help. It's just it just takes practice, you know. And this one here, we're going to do that. Got a nice highlight in the middle of those, like that, which looks good. And maybe on the back here, we've got those 2 little pieces here. And there, like that. I'm not worried about inside the wheel arches because obviously they're going to be dark anyway. Maybe we'll run them just a little line on the edges of these. And highlight those edges, like that. Maybe just a little edge down the middle like that, which is good. and maybe one across the back here. Very small one, like that. That's it. As you can see, it's pretty easy, really. It's all in the mix of the paint. As long as you remember that the golden rule is, you know, the 20 drops to 6 to 7 drops of thinners, and you mix it right, you're good to go. All right, all that's pretty much dry. So the other good thing about Mission Paints is that you can literally wash your airbrush out with water. So what I do is I keep a big bottle like this with about 80% water and about 20% simple green, and I sploosh it out like that, and I'm done. Into a pot like that, and I'll get a cotton bud, like that. Just give it a mix around inside. It's obviously white as well, you don't want any of that left in it. Like that, and you'll see it's fairly clean now, right? So I'll give it one more little blast with the water, like that. Oh, get it everywhere. Spray it out, like that. We're almost good to go, and then now I can just literally hit it with a bit of Mission Models thinners. Just a little bit, just to make sure that's all nice and clean. Hold the end there and give it a little blowback, like that. And we're good to go with the next color. Nice and clean. Right, so we're gonna have blue. Like I said, I think I decided on, I think I'm gonna do the, bright blue mecha. Because we're on a black base, you do want a fairly bright blue. Now, I'm gonna give that a good shake. Like that, really good shake. Go for it. Well, today's Friday. I hope you're all having a good end of the week. I'm pretty excited about this kit. I've got all my lighting stuff turned up Monday. I've ordered some LEDs from Evans Lighting. Probably the place to buy model lighting accessories. Alright, so let's mix that up. It's a nice color. There you go. Very bright, very blue. Alright, so give myself another cup. It's got some white in it, so we get a clean one. Like that. Same again. This time we're going to do the whole thing, so I'm going to do about 20 drops in this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And we'll go 7 with the polyurethane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can use more than 7. It just takes longer to dry. So the more polyurethane you put in it, the longer it's a retardant. So remember that. All right, we'll go 7 drops of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I get my little mixer, cocktail sticks. Just the best thing for everything. That's a really nice color. It's pretty perfect. It's a little lighter than what it appears in the movie, but in the movie they have sort of lighting effects. You can see that's a very beautiful bright blue. So, like I said, we're mixing again. Half fill your cup. We'll bring that over here, and literally while I've been talking, that's just dry. It dries super quick, and look at it, it's just dried perfectly, right? You can give it a quick blast with a hairdryer if you want to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to modulate this. So I'm just going to take it really thin with the coat because I want to build the coats up. I want to keep the wheel arches fairly dark. I want to go with the higher part of the more raised pieces lighter. Just generally modulate it so it looks it starts giving it a very nice 3-dimensional feel. So we'll start with a very thin coat like that. You see the white just basically turning blue as I hit it. So what that does is it almost gives us a very thin, very lucid blue base like that. Because I want some dark blue. So very light on the white parts. As you hit the white parts, all the surrounding area will fill with blue. You'll see it happen. So that way you keep a nice modulation and you keep your highlight. Like I said, you keep going, keep filling up the area until you're happy that you've got the depth of color that you want, basically. Like I said, I really want this to have a kind of a nice modulation to it. There you go, right out. So it doesn't look like a toy, gives it a little bit more dramatic film-like quality, like filmic prop quality. There's some more on the back here. There's that. Into the wheel arches. Nice and dark. That's what we want. And then once that dries, keep hitting it with the blue. Sides, across the back. What'll happen is no matter what you do, that dark blue will always be darker than the patches where you've done the white highlights. So there really isn't any danger of you losing those highlights. You can see that's really nice. Right? But we want to fade those back a little bit more because I don't want them too prominent. I really do want a kind of very much more subtle effect. When it dries, they'll dry slightly more prominent. That's really nice. Like that. You can see we've got some nice shadows. We've got those nice dark blue. Color shades. Really, really nice. Go along the outsides like that, so we get the colors there. And yeah, that's really, really nice now. You can see that. You can see that nice blue modulation. Now, what I can do quickly is exactly what I showed you. You can add the hairdryer. Give it a shot with a hairdryer. Like that. Now you see the difference in color now. You see how that color, when it dried, it's just gone very nice and bright. And it pops, and then you've got the really nice kind of dark shadowy grills and the kind of more darker wheel wells on the outside like that. And we might need to do a bit more in there. I don't know, I might leave those as they are actually. That looks kind of good. So there you go. That's how you use Mission Models paints. And that's how you create a half decent modulation, I'd say. Wow, that blue is pretty poppy. I like it though. It's cool. All right, have a good weekend.